Then on Sports Central, we go over a college football bowl preview and prediction on the 2021 Hawaii Bowl matchup between Memphis and Hawaii. Both teams have had good seasons to this point. Should make a very good matchup here in the Hawaii Bowl. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today, starting out with your team trends. Memphis beat Tulane in their last game. That was the last game of the regular season there. Beat them 33-28. So overall, decent win to finish out the season. I mean, Tulane was one of the worst teams in the conference this season, and the American Athletic finishing out at 2-10. So yeah, rough season for them. But overall, Memphis, I mean, this is a good football team, and I feel like this team is kind of underachieved in this college football season. I mean, they're a younger football team this year. There's no doubt there. But I mean, this team definitely, I think, has more talent to be able to get more than 6 wins. But overall, I mean, they had a lot of close losses too. I mean, if you look at the losses that they had this season, had a 6-point loss to Tulsa, 3-point loss to Temple, 3-point loss to UTSA. Got blown out by UCF, but otherwise, I mean, they had a 1-point loss to East Carolina in overtime as well. So, I mean, this is a football team that's played very well all season long, really. They've just had a few really tough close losses there. But they're 6-6, 1-game winning streak heading into this matchup. As for Hawaii, beat Wyoming on the road, 38-14. That was a solid win. Wyoming is a pretty good football team, actually. So overall, not a bad win there. Certainly is a blowout win on the road. So, but they're 6-7. They actually played 13 regular season games. That's mainly because they played New Mexico State twice in the regular season. 1 game on the road in September, and then 1 game at home in October. But yeah, they're 6-7, 2-game winning streak heading into this matchup. Game will be on Friday, December 24th, Christmas Eve, Honolulu. Hawaii is going to be the location for this matchup. It'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is actually 3 p.m. Hawaii time, so 5 hours behind the Eastern time zone there. Spread's going to be with Memphis, 7.5 points as of right now. So Memphis is favored by a decent amount coming into this matchup, which, I mean, kind of makes sense because Hawaii, I mean, 6-7 is more reasonable for them because they've had a couple of bad blowout losses, but Memphis is 6-6 with a lot of close losses and plenty of talent, so it makes sense why the spread is that way. FPI Hawaii 55.6%. Your over/under is 58.5, and this is actually the first matchup in these teams' history. Here's your stat comparison. Memphis has 30 points per game, 29 points allowed, 298 passers a game, 137 rush yards, and then for yards allowed, you got 250 passing, 167 for rushing. So heavy passing offense here with Memphis, and kind of the same thing for Hawaii. Both teams have got some heavy passing offenses here. Hawaii's got 20 points per game, 31 points allowed, 262 passers a game, 148 rush yards, and then for yards allowed, you got 289 passing and then 156 for rushing. So Hawaii's passing defense, that defensive secondary, has allowed a lot of yardage in this 2021 season, and you could say the exact same about Memphis. Even the Hawaii stats, they're not quite as good. I mean, they're kind of a level down versus Memphis, because Memphis, they've got 30 more average passers a game, and they're allowing like 40 yards less in the passing game on average. So yeah, both teams are heavy passing. That's definitely going to be something to watch out for here. Rushing defense hasn't even been that great either. So yeah, should be a higher scoring matchup, I do believe here. I can't imagine it's a low scoring field goal kicking type of game. I could see this game going over the 55.5 certainly. But looking at your recent matchups as well, Memphis, of course, beat Tulane there 33-28. Lost to Houston 13-31. That was a tough loss there, but Houston's a pretty good football team. Lost to East Carolina. I know that one was tough, 29-30. That was in overtime, and beat SMU by 3, and also lost to UCF 7-24. As for Hawaii, beat Wyoming there 38-14. Excellent road win. Beat Colorado State by 5, 50-45. Lost to UNLV, lost to San Diego State, and lost to Utah State as well. So kind of had a losing streak there between October and November. But then again, Utah State won the Mountain West. San Diego State was one of the best teams. And UNLV, that was just an unacceptable loss, I'll be honest. I mean, UNLV is a pretty terrible football team. I mean, they finished out the season at 2-10, and one of their wins was against Hawaii. So that's definitely that was the worst loss by far on the season for Hawaii. But otherwise, they've played pretty well the past couple of games. Beat Colorado State, scored 50 on them, and blew out Wyoming. So definitely something to watch out for there. And as for Memphis, they have lost 3 of their last 5. Looking at some key points here, Memphis, talented football team that has had some inconsistencies and, once again, as I said before, some close losses. I mean, if you flip a couple of those, this team is 8-4. I mean, this team could easily be 8-4 right now, and I wouldn't be surprised a single bit if that were to be the case, looking at the talent on this football team. Seth Hennigan, he has been outstanding. I mean, he's played pretty well for this football team. His touchdown interception ratio has been great, 25-8, 3,300 yards on the football season. So I'd argue he's a top-tier quarterback in the American Athletic. But Calvin Austin, he's definitely a name to watch out for as well. Over 1,100 yards of receiving on the season. So, yeah, Calvin Austin, major impact player coming into this matchup, and he's really helped Hennigan get a lot of yards. I mean, he's responsible for over a third of this football team's receiving yards on the season. And as for Hawaii, coming off of an impressive win against Wyoming once again. I mean, Wyoming's a good football team. That team's headed to a bowl game. They're 6-6, so yeah, that was an impressive win there. But passing defense has been poor. That does kind of concern me a bit for Hawaii because Memphis, the main way that they attack offensively is in the passing game. And when you're going up against a great receiver, especially Calvin Austin, and you got Hennigan as well, their quarterback, who passes a lot, that is definitely going to be a concern heading into this matchup. Is how is this passing defense going to do? That's been allowing nearly 300 rush pass yards a game. They do have the home field advantage as well. Do remember that. Hawaii, this game is in Hawaii in their home stadium. So you could think that this team will have the home field advantage, but you never know. I mean, it's a bowl game, so all of that goes out the window. But that being said, let's go ahead and get to the prediction here for Memphis and Hawaii, the Hawaii Bowl. I'm going to go with Memphis here. 31-27 is my predicted final score. I just feel like Memphis, they're just the better football team. I think Hawaii is also a very good football team. They've played pretty well this season, and they've had some impressive performances, but I just think Memphis more confident in this football team right now, especially going up against a Hawaii defense that has allowed a lot of passing yards. It just is not the best matchup for Hawaii statistically, so I feel like Memphis, they should win this game. They've got better talent. I just think, I mean, it could go either way. I mean, who knows? Hawaii having their home field could do better in that situation. But once again, I just feel like Memphis is the team that I'm most confident in picking for this game. I'm going to say 55% towards the Tigers. Over-under is 58.5. I'm going to take the under. And that over-under has since moved down, actually, to 55.5. So, yeah, I'm still taking... Yes, I would be taking the over here now because it switched down to 55.5. So that's once again that's one of the variables that can change in an instant is your over under, which is now 55.5. So I'm actually taking the over for this game, just barely. But either way, if you're going to be betting the over or under in this game, I mean it's risky because you got two pretty good offenses, but then again, the defenses are pretty terrible as well. So I think I would be more comfortable taking the over actually in this game, especially if it's 55.5, where it is sitting right now just about a week before kickoff. So yeah, I'm taking the over here, Hawaii to cover as well. So yeah, that being said, that's going to wrap it up for here today. Let me know your thoughts and comments below on this game, and I appreciate you guys all watching. As always, stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll see you later.